Hello and welcome to episode number 5 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is the third episode of Monday Night Raw, and we are very much hot on the road to Backlash pay-per-view. And I don't think there's really anything else I need to say at the point here, so without any further ado, let's just jump straight into the show.
I won't beg, break, I'm going away. Every moment's one more chance to stand up or get in the
The similar section with the Sami Zayn stuff on SmackDown, I didn't really know what to open the show with. So we've got Cedric and Ricochet opening the show, believe it or not. And they're cutting a promo about how they are now obviously gunning for the tag team title shot when they challenged the Street Profits last week, and then they get interrupted by Bianca and the Profits. And they said that they heard that Ricochet and Cedric challenged them last week, and obviously because they're all friends, that they're willing to accept that challenge on one condition. And that is if Ricochet can defeat Montez Ford in a match right now. So a hot opener with our tag team title feud into a hot tag match, or not tag match, it's a hot singles match. Montez Ford and Ricochet. Ricochet defeats Montez Ford in 13 minutes for a diving double knee drop. They have great chemistry, which I could definitely see. I reckon this would actually be a fantastic match. But yeah, so Ricochet does get the win, so at Backlash, Cedric and Ricochet will face the Street Profits for the Raw Tag Team titles. And then get a segment of at the announce desk of Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, and the Raw General Manager Samoa Joe going over obviously what happened last week, where Joe came out, announced himself as the new Raw GM, and they're going to ask him questions about tonight's show, and he's like hyping up when the Singh brothers pop up behind him and they start like pesting him, like poking him, going, "Hi Joe, hey, you invited us here this week. Ha la la la," because obviously they came last week and Joe beat him up. And then Joe said, "Well, I am still an active competitor and I would still love to kick your ass, but I'm currently nursing an injury. But like I said, you don't just come to my show uninvited and without any punishment. So I have found an opponent for you this week, and that man is Aleister Black. And he's going to go 2-on-1 with the Singh brothers, and he's going to beat them in 7 minutes. He pins Sunil Singh with a Black Mass. So the Singh brothers, they have got their comeuppance for hijacking Raw and irritating Raw General Manager Samoa Joe last week. Just believing and proving that when he's running Raw, you're not going to want to fuck around, because if he can't quite do it himself because he's currently injured, he will find another way to make your life miserable. Ruby Riott promo. It says Liv because they'll change the storyline, but she lost again last week to... Was it to Bianca? Yeah, it was, yeah. But there's no hard feelings because her days of anarchy are behind her and she has seen the light. She gets another loss. This time to Kairi Sane in 9:56 with the insane elbow. So, not quite going well for Ruby. She's saying that she's found the light and she's going to change, but she just keeps on losing. Apollo Crews is backstage. He's doing like the rope weights, getting ready for his match later on tonight. Well, actually, no, he doesn't, because he's just getting in good shape. Oh no, he does have a match, yeah. We know he has a match against the Big Show, so it's fine. When MVP comes up to him, and he wishes him luck against the Big Show tonight, and because he's going to need that, because he's spoken to Samoa Joe and he's got Apollo a match with Aleister Black at Backlash, and he expects him to go into that match with a winner's edge and a winner's mentality after his loss on the Raw after WrestleMania. And MVP leaves, and Apollo just like, why have I got to wrestle Aleister again? So that's another match confirmed for Backlash. I think I will go through the whole thing so far at the end of the show. It will be Apollo Crews versus Aleister Black, Part 2. Rematch from last week, Sugar Rush and the Iconics. Iconics beat him again. Originally intended for this to be them getting the win back over the Iconics, but they've got like 9 popularity and the Iconics have got 38, so it seemed best just to give the Iconics another win, keep them the stronger of the two teams right now, and that will hopefully help Sugar Rush in the long run. They are obviously still young, and they have got time on their side. But another win for the Iconics. Backstage segment with Kevin Owens and his old friend Akira Tozawa. seems a bit random, but basically, Owens is going over the history that he and Tozawa had, because they did used to tag on the indies quite a lot. I can't remember, like, what was in either PWG or whatever, Dragon Gate, somewhere like that. Chikara maybe. But no, they were a tag team because they are registered as a tag team in the game. And obviously they're friends, they've travelled the world together, so Buddy Murphy has a friend in Akam, and Kevin Owens says that he found his good friend Akira Tozawa, and tonight he and Tozawa are going to beat Buddy Murphy and Akam for the Lord, for the name of the Monday Night Messiah, and put an end to this group's little running around on Monday Night Raw. And Tozawa's just like, ha, 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 doing his shouty thing. Lashley defeats Titus with Dragon Sleeper. Just needed to get a nice win on the show for Lashley to dominate somebody. Now he's not got Lana with him to distract him. He's on his winning path. I'm sure MVP would be a fan. Then we get the entrance of Bronson Reed, who debuted last week to help Brendan Vink and Shane Thorne win against the Viking Raiders. And he's accompanied by Brendan Vink and Shane Thorne. And then Shane Thorne grabs a mic, and the group refer to themselves as Aussie Might, which is a great name for 3 reasons. Because A, they have that Aussie might because they're all Australians and they're all strong and they have the might. B is because, like, it's a pun on the mighty don't kneel or whatever, that name of that faction that they're all in Australia. And C, because if you say Aussie might really fast, it sounds like you're saying Aussie might. Anyway, Humberto is his debut opponent, and he actually beats him by disqualification with the Rage DQ finish. Because Reed has like lower popularity again, I didn't want to beat Humberto straight up. So it's the Rage DQ. I actually like this finish better. They kick too much ass. Well, I don't normally like this finish at all, to be honest, but with what's going to come up next in the next segment, it works better. Which is all 3 men grab Humberto and they put him through the announce table in a 31 rated segment. So Bronson Reed may not officially have got the win on his debut, but he left a mark as the Aussies stand tall with Humberto down and out through the announce table. Another match for Bianca Belair. She wrestles Natalya and beats her with a KOD in 7 minutes. She gets a 30, Natalya a 47, because they don't click. Which a lot of people don't with Natalya. The only person I think who clicks with Natalya is Charlotte. And Becky, I guess, at SummerSlam had a decent match with her. Other than that, she's in that veteran role where they think she's good and she helps everyone, but I've never seen her have a good match with anyone else. So, is she really good? She's just a female Dolph Ziggler at this point. Except Dolph Ziggler at one point was interesting and a credible world champion, whereas Natalya has never been. Anyway, Natty ran over. Ray is in the back with sorry. Ranting about Natty, got something stuck in my throat. Ray is interviewed by Charlie Caruso about his long-standing rivalry with Andrade, which will get its next chapter at Backlash, when it's Rey Mysterio and Andrade for the United States title. And he's putting over Andrade, saying he's one of the best people he's ever wrestled, and he can't wait to get back in the ring and have another classic with him and win back that United States title. When Austin Theory walks in, and he tells Ray that obviously, being only a young 22-year-old male, he obviously grew up watching and idolizing people like Rey Mysterio, and how much respect he has for a legend like Ray, and he can't wait to team up with him in the main event tonight against Angel Garza and Andrade. That will be the actual main event, believe it or not. Andrade and Angel Garza against Theory and Ray. Because I feel like it would, out of all the matches I've booked on this show, I feel like it would get the best rating. Murphy and Akam defeat Kevin Owens and Akira Tozawa when Murphy pins Tozawa with the Murphy's Law. Kevin Owens and Akira Tozawa are tag team specialists, apparently, which apparently gave the match a boost. But the actual 2 former NXT Tag Team Champions over here are not. So, Kevin Owens have a 73, Tozawa 52, 57, Murphy 50 for Akam. So Murphy scores the pinfall over Kevin Owens' friend Akira Tozawa. And after the match, they pledged their allegiance to the Monday Night Messiah. Anyway, moment of bliss. Alexa and Nikki have been invited to Raw because they can float because of the Women's Tag Team Champions. And their guests are their opponents at Backlash, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, who we learnt last week will not be pulling double duty because it'll be Shayna Baszler and Liv Morgan for the Raw Women's title. Just very respectful of the two teams putting each other over, saying they had a cracking match at WrestleMania, opened the show. Now they plan to have another one at Backlash. And then it all is very nice. And then until Alexa's like, obviously, it could have been pulling double duty, but neither of you got to the final of the Raw Women's title because you both got beat by Shayna Baszler. But I'm sure it'll still be great. And then Asuka starts shouting at her in Japanese, and Kairi and Nikki have to hold the other women back because that seems like I don't like it would play it off like she didn't intend for it to be disrespectful, but it was sort of like a slap in the face to say that, yeah, you weren't good enough to win the Raw Women's title, so you're going now. So still two babyface tag teams, just a bit of tension between them because of some things that may have been misinterpreted. Speaking of the final of the Raw Women's title tournament, Liv cuts a promo saying that she has a match with Shayna Baszler, and obviously just by looking at the two, she knows she's the underdog because like she's like this tiny girl. She's not really broken out. She's not really won any match of any importance. Shayna's the MMA badass who could like eat Liv for breakfast, but she knows that the odds are never in her favor, and she's not going to let that stop her because this is the biggest match of her life. So to just bend over and lose, that's not what Liv's about. That's not the real Liv Morgan. And Shayna would just walk in, like, I live up and down, and laugh, scoff, and walk off, putting that little dickhead smirk, thinking, yeah, this is going to be easy. Apollo Crews defeats the Big Show in 13-13 with a spin-out powerbomb. Big win for him against a legend. He scores a 44, Big Show 67. And that must certainly impress MVP. Joe gets up from the announce table as he's hosting a sit-down interview between WWE Champion Drew McIntyre and his challenger, Jinder Mahal. Both of them sit there, they reminisce about their times in 3MB and how badly and their careers since and how much they've all evolved, how they're now basically unrecognisable from those two men. Jinder says the respect between them is over, and then at Backlash, the very pay-per-view where he shocked the world 3 years ago, he'll shock the world yet again and end Drew's dream run. And then Drew says some stuff about talking less, because they're talking a lot, and Claymore, and he can't wait till Jinder gets to meet a Claymore at Backlash and find out why Drew was the next big thing before 3MB and why he was always destined to be the breakout star of the group. Main event gets a 67. Angel Garza and Andrade defeat Austin Theory and Rey Mysterio when Andrade pins Rey. That is not what I put as the finish at all. Game. It says here, miscommunication by Austin Theory causes a loss, which is what happens. Like, unintentionally. It's not like he screws Rey on purpose. He is still, like, facing Angel Garza at the pay-per-view, so he does still want to win this. It was just sort of like an accidental thing. Because he's the rookie, he's, like, still needs the seasoning. So he's too excited to team with Rey Mysterio, and he accidentally causes Rey to get pinned by Andrade. And that is the end of Monday Night Raw, with a pretty good match, and it scores a 66. We're still losing pop, but we're not getting dinged for the storylines anymore. And yeah, I think it's pretty good considering I'm keeping like 5 of my best wrestlers off television on purpose. Because I think to gain pop, sort of like in the early stages of this, I've got to be using The Undertaker and John Cena and Brock Lesnar every week, which I just don't want to do because that's not realistic. But we're getting there, and soon we'll turn it all around. But it doesn't really matter anyway because I like the show. Because I care more about the actual booking than I do the actual ratings of the game. All that matters is I like the show, you like the show. So just let me know if you did, and I'll see you for SmackDown.